Ladies and gentlemen,
Ooh, hello.
welcome to Terminus Tuesday. I am exiled. Damn it, I did it again. Alright, hold on, let me fix that.
What you
He
do?
failed.
There we go.
He
Fix it.
failed.
No, it's always a little bit small at the beginning and everything, so I keep forgetting that I have to fix that sometimes. Anyway, guys, sorry about that. So, that is a nice scarf you got on today. As usual, guys, my name is Exiled. I am,
Jesus.
My name is Exiled. This is Terminus Tuesday. I am joined by my two co-hosts here. Introduce yourselves.
Hi, Kaywin here.
You already know who I am. Right?
Says your name underneath, but that's just a cheap way to do it out anyway.
Right.
Anyway, guys.
If you can read, you can't read. Well,
So, guys, if y'all have actually saw last week's chat or last week's show, you'll know that exactly what it is that we are talking about today. Pretty much today is going to be all about the medic. So it was definitely we got a little bit of a taste last week with the stalker stuff. They showed us a little bit of it in that little video, that whole class super drop, ultra drop thingy that they did, showing off a little bit of the medic and everything. But this week we got a huge thing with the normal Saturday stream that we normally get, showing off pretty much everything that the medic could do, which was very interesting. And I know a lot of people in Terminus decided to switch over to a medic because of the stuff that they saw in the stream. So I thought that was very
I'm
conspicuous.
guilty of that.
A
Guilty.
little bit, yeah. Some people and everything decided they wanted to go ahead and switch over to a medic because they thought they saw it and they were like, "Oh my god, that is totally me right there." All right, so that being one of them being Kate Wynn, there was a couple more too and everything that were just like, "Oh, I kind of gotta see this and everything." So definitely was
Everything I said last week.
right.
I made a
She
horrible mistake.
completely lied last week about everything she said. So, but
I didn't lie. I just didn't know better.
oh, she lied about the entire thing.
oh god, I hate medic. Oh, it's so horrible.
I didn't say I hate them. I just wanted a staff class. We all know this.
Yeah,
And
she
I'm
wanted the medic to
disappointed.
have a damn staff. She's been so obsessed with that damn staff. If you guys have seen past episodes, you know that she's obsessed with this damn staff. I'm telling her, we never know. Maybe after launch or something, maybe one of these classes, one of the new classes that they launch, maybe down the road or something like that, might have a staff, and she'll have her damn staff class. But by then, she's gonna complain, "I have to re-level again." It's like, all right, well, you can't have your cake and eat it too.
I don't
So.
want to re-level again.
You
I can't have my
wanna-
cake and eat it.
It's
Thank you
mostly
very much.
cake. Let's really go for a
I'm
cake
very
right now.
excited.
Right.
I have my doubts, but I'm very excited.
Please leave my facial hair alone. I am trying to do something with it. I just have to wait until it gets a lot longer before I can do anything with it because I have baby face, so it comes out pretty bad. So
How did
it
we
looks
get on
it looks
topic?
really
That's what I
bad
was
right
laughing
now.
at.
It looks really bad right
Like,
now,
oh.
but it's gonna get it's gonna get better later once I get it to
Oh,
where
don't
it
tell me
needs
you're
to be.
neck bearding.
I'm not
Are you
neck
neck
bearding. No, I'm not gonna look. You see it right there, that little patch right there. I can't even grow. It doesn't even grow right there. I can't neck beard if I can't even grow it right there. Anyway, all right, back on track here. So, so we have a little bit of information that we've gotten from the Saturday stream about the medic class and what they're gonna have to offer, as well as their positions, I should say, within raiding, PvP, and things like that. One of the huge things we got to see, and that we'll be talking about next week, was that 2v2 duel that they had with an engineer over there. But we'll get to that here in a
I
little
wasn't
bit.
excited about that.
Wasn't excited?
It-
Well,
no, it didn't get
was it
my
because
senses tingling.
was it because that the medic got pooped on the entire time? Like he
It might
couldn't.
be. It might be.
Like both
Now
of those
that I have a
fights.
favorite class.
Yeah, both of those
I'm
both of those
excited.
just like they both like I mean it was a stalker medic on there and they just like they got pooped on right there and it was pretty bad.
Twice.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah, they did twice. And they came really close. They came really close the second time, but they couldn't seal the deal. The stalker could not seal the deal on there. So, and I don't know who was he healing himself or something? I don't know where he was getting all that extra health from. So, cuz I know the engineer doesn't heal, so I don't know where the hell maybe it was his bot doing some sick ass heals or something. Anyway, Whatever. We'll come to that next week. Anyway, so one of the few things that were covered in the stream this week was some of the abilities that the medic can do. Specifically, how they are basically are CC masters. Um, the
Are
medics.
they? I didn't get that vibe.
I kind of got that vibe. Like, I mean,
I
because
didn't
they
get that
got.
vibe at all.
Well, because if you
There's a
think about
couple
it,
of snares, and there was one skill that rooted. Other than that, I didn't see anything.
compared to
It
other
was
classes
mostly
who have
movement
maybe
slow speed.
maybe one snare, maybe one root, that's a lot. Having three of them, and if you have them all in there, like he did a utility build where it was like three or four snares with three or four assault
Snare,
abilities.
snare is just slowing.
Okay, snare and a root. Like he had one that rooted him, and then one that
One
snared
root.
him.
One root,
Yeah,
no
it was.
stun. Well,
It
one
was.
stun, one root.
Yeah, it was one
And
root, one stun, and like two snares because it had that big wavy thing that slowed them down too. I don't remember the name of it and everything, but it was like and
no, that was the heal.
uh,
The wavy, the wub wub heal. That was
the
the heal.
the wub wub hill, is that what it's called?
Yeah, you didn't hear it.
Wub,
It
wub,
sounded
wub.
like freaking dust.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
But
It's exactly what
I
it sounded.
I thought the stalker had way more stuns and CC than.
well, nah, the stalker. I don't think the stalker would have that many more stuns and everything. I know every class has at least
From
one.
behind? At least from behind.
I don't think it really mattered. Like, a stun is a stun. I don't think it matters if it's from behind or not. I think they may have like an opening move from
I'm
behind
thinking
that.
rogue from WoW. That's
Yeah, well, because the rogue had like cheap shot and all that stuff and everything, it doesn't mean that the stalker's gonna have it. Obviously, we don't know the entire ability list for a stalker, so
we don't know anything really about the stalker except the dev speak and watching
oh my
that
god,
fight. What?
I have visitors.
Your mom interrupted again?
Okay,
Damn it,
anyway,
Mom.
right? Every time.
Hey, you
Control
wanted
your
a fourth
woman.
streamer, right?
Right?
Anyway, okay.
Hey, at least you didn't bring the hair dryer this time.
Yeah, she didn't. Anyway, okay, so back on track here. Uh, but yes, I
Half our
kind of
viewers
felt
watch this for your mom anyway.
I kind of felt like this was a lot more. I kind of felt like this was a lot more of a CC centered class than any other thing.
I
Just
think
because,
you're wrong.
well, I
I'm gonna
think
say that now until the game comes out.
from-
Until we know.
you gonna
what
say
we're
that
talking
meow,
about.
meow
Wrong.
until
Yeah.
until the game from
Meow.
meow until the name. Okay, meow.
Yes.
All right, just gonna say it meow
Wrong.
until the game comes out. All right. Anyway, it's just the feeling that I got from it and everything because it looked like the way he was playing it, and maybe it's just because he's really good with the medic, but the way he was playing it was that he kept them completely snared the entire time while he was just like circling around them, making them stay inside that snare and inside his roots and everything like that, and then would just basically quote unquote AOE them down is what it looked like. I mean, from the stream, it looked like he was AOEing them down from afar. Well, not from afar, but from mid range and just snaring them around and going all the way around in a circle. So, I mean, am I wrong? Is that not what he was doing in there?
I don't know. It just looked like a lot of AOE damage, and the snare. It just to me, snare was just a slow. I saw like that one stun skill. I don't remember what it was called, but he didn't even have that in his utility bars that much. That one
Yeah, but he
skill.
was using it a lot though.
I don't know. I didn't get that. I really didn't like. I'm judging by the 2 versus 2 thing where they were annihilated, completely annihilated, and the stuns and snares didn't fucking matter at all.
Well, it's not
Like-
gonna matter because one, like the stuns and snares were specific. They're basically those stuns and snares are made for melee. Like if they went against what it was an engineer and what was the other one? Was it
Engineer
Was it a
spells-
slinger?
Spell slinger. So you have two range classes that they're going against. So a stun and snare doesn't mean shit when you're going against a spell slinger who has arguably the longest range of all the classes in there, and an engineer who we have seen also uses guns and everything too. So I'm pretty sure they're ranged. So if they're gonna be like a ranged character, two ranged characters, a stun and snare isn't gonna mean shit. So obviously that's why I think they kind of lost because of that, because he had all of his abilities set towards stuns and snares, and he didn't really have, he didn't really have a what's the word I'm looking for? Um, he had all these stuns and snares going, and he didn't really prepare for the fact that they were long range. They didn't need to move. They moved because they needed to get out of stuff, but they didn't have to move. On the other hand, they needed to move because that stalker, even though they put out a massive, a shit ton of DPS and everything, they still take damage pretty well too. So I think they lost because of that.
How
Because
were
he
they not
wasn't.
prepared? They knew this was going to happen. They knew that they were going to
Yeah, I'm sure they orchestrated and everything, but like,
wouldn't
I don't
you
know.
use your best skills againts those classes if you knew that that's what you
They're
were
raiding
fighting
Black
them
Temple.
It's
They
it's
were not
more
prepared.
it's more situational though. It's more
against?
situational.
Like
so
first round they were ambushed. Second round
right,
they weren't. So
right.
they definitely could have. I don't know. It kind of just threw me off. It was just sad.
I don't know. It's just I think
It
that
made me sad.
yeah. I mean, I think like right now it seemed like he wasn't like the attacks that he was doing. They just felt like they weren't doing anything. Like they weren't doing any damage at all.
Right.
So it's
I
very
think that's
disconcerting.
also the fault of the actual spells itself. Like there's no indication. Like the spammer skill, I don't remember what it was called, but it's number one that you use to recharge your probes, has like no tactile like anything. Like you could shoot it and it doesn't look like anyone's getting hit by it. It's just like, oh, I'm frolicking in a field of lasers, and that's it.
Lasers. Well,
Whatever.
yeah, and it does. It does. No,
It
you're right.
it
It
has
does.
Feels like an
no
episode of Star
satisfaction to me.
Trek.
It has zero satisfaction to me, those skills.
It does look
We're gonna
like
call
that.
those
If I'm
tricorders
shooting
now.
a laser
They're not
out of
resonators.
these paddles, I want to see it do damage. I want to melt insides, and I don't see that with these spells.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I would need to look at it a little bit more and get probably like a hands-on feel to see exactly what I feel like about that. It just seems like with the abilities that they went over, like, and then they went over every single ability, like one by one of every ability that he was using, which I thought was really neat. You get a pretty much a glimpse, a hands-on glimpse at what the abilities that he's using, and at first you're thinking to yourself, all right, he's using these abilities, he should be able to tear shit up, and he wasn't.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I'm
It
like,
just-
in my mind, I'm like, all right. So I see the medic being a healer, but I don't see myself bringing a medic into a raid as a DPS. And it's like, oh,
no.
all right, it's time to for a raid, and everybody's like, all right, we got this and everything. It's like, all right, who's my DPS? All right, I got a stalker, a warrior, a spell slinger, another stalker, a warrior, a medic. No, you're out. I need another spell slinger. So, so that's that's the way I
Another
look
thing
at
that
it.
stood out to me was when they introduced it on. They kind of talked about it a little bit before this weekend, and they said that it was heals and damage at the same time.
Hmm.
But it's not. There's only two spells. They said on stream there's only two spells that are heal and damage at the same time, which isn't a true hybrid. It's either you're gonna have to go heals or you're gonna have to go DPS. It's one or the other.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna work out and everything. I think the amps will play a huge deal. A huge.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I was thinking amps might actually make some things that would heal do damage, or vice versa. I don't know though. We don't know until we actually see it, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
But
because
if
he
they
did
have,
in
if they
that
have
one
hybrid
stream.
trees.
Yeah, because in that one stream they showed us like the rough draft of what their amps look like, and it did have that hybrid section up at the top. So I'm guessing that that's where we're gonna see like do more damage and healing with this certain ability, or unlock this ability that does damage and healing or something like that, so that they are more viable as both damage and healing and everything. And maybe they may not be like they may not be like top end DPS type of class, but they'll be a type of class that does DPS to help out, and then also does healing to help out as well, so that the healers aren't so strained whenever they're trying to do like main healing for a raid boss or for a dungeon or something like that. So that could be another option that we could see a medic being excelling at. It's interesting.
Do you think the medic is going to be typecasted as a main healer and main healer only?
It's a possibility. It definitely looks like it for right now because of how they have everything set up. It looks like they would probably be more of a main healer than probably like a warrior or something like that, just because they have that damage and heal ability. Because then, and it's mid range, so they be up into the fray with the melee, and they'd be able to heal them and do damage at the boss at the same time. So I think it's definitely a viable option for them to do if they're not looking for something to be more melee or more DPS than healing. If a guild is looking for something that's going to be kind of in between both, then I think the medic's going to be a great class for that and everything. But it also depends on just how much DPS you're going to need to down these bosses and how much healing you're going to need. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens with that.
Don't forget too, like they also have those fields that they can just place on the ground. They mentioned about. So if you're just sitting there and you place that healing field underneath all your melee DPS while you're still standing off to the side, maybe healing the other people, and
Another
also don't forget the probes too.
Another light
Right?
well.
Well, it's not a
Gas
light well
station.
though, but
Oh my god,
because the light wells you have to click,
it's
right?
It's a square that you walk over.
this damn
Nice
light
and
wells.
DPS though. Like,
It's a
here, no, you
field.
just
You
square.
gotta put it on the
It's a
ground.
field.
Sebweir said
I'm
like
excited.
Sebweir
I'm
said like
excited
jack
for
of all
that.
trades, master of none. That's kind of what I'm thinking that they're gonna do. They're gonna be a jack of all
Yeah.
trades with healing and DPS, but they're not gonna be a master of either one of them. And that's the way I think the developers actually designed them to be, was, you know, to specifically be that way, so that
They're the bard.
uh,
I love
the
Bard.
bard
Which game? Which game for Bard?
for 14 or 11.
14 or 11? 11. That was my deal. Sorry. And
I never played 11, and because
I could never find anything else in any other game that is like that, and it makes me sad.
all right.
I love the Bard.
They're the bard of the Wild Star world. That's what
You
they
need a
are.
Bard. Well, it's kind of like a Bard. It's like dubstep Bard.
Well, because that's the way it was.
Is it
That's the way it
right?
is in 14 now
it's
too.
dubstep
Like,
Bard. That's what I'm calling it from now on.
yeah,
We're
because of
gonna
the
rename
sounds
the
that it's
medic
making and
the
everything. It's like
dubstep
whoop
bar.
whoop whoop. Like I can see, I'm gonna see Kaywin just going around there, just sitting in town, not doing shit, just hitting the same button so she can hear the damn thing. Whoop whoop whoop.
I'm literally,
whoop,
that's
whoop.
all I'm gonna do. Just run around and pro people. Well, that sounds wrong.
Wow. Okay. So
Never mind.
All right. Where did you get your medical license?
Not anything. Also, by the way, did you read the lore on the medic? It's really cool.
no, I didn't. Please educate
It's
me.
really awesome. Well, I kind of forgot all of it, but I remember that it was really cool.
Did you read the lore? Well, I totally forgot.
I
So
need someone
makes-
else read it.
it makes
Why
no
do
sense
I have
at
to
all.
be the smart one around
that's why I was
here?
asking if you read the.
This is your class. This is the one that you're saying you want to play and
My
everything.
class-
So
now this is my class. I guess this is my class now.
this is like, I mean, how you gonna be like, how you gonna ask a question and not be able to answer it?
I studied. I just didn't study the lore. I studied hard.
Oh my god, lady. Anyway. Okay.
It
So-
easily comes down
She was
to the
studying
fact
that. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Right.
in the beginning of whatever planet they all came from, not Nexus, with their own planets,
Wasn't it called
they were
Cassis?
doctors.
Like Planet Cassis or
What?
something like that? That's why they're called Cassians?
Well, there's
I think
not
so.
just
That's
Cassians.
I think that's what it was. I think it's
Are they all
Planet
Cassians?
Cassis because
I
that's
know
why they're
nothing
called
about
Cassians.
lore. Not a
I
lot.
haven't looked too much into it and everything. I need to, so I can
Read
like
the
reference it every once in a while and everything. But it seems like it might be something like that. I don't know. Classes and okay, so
It's pretty much that there were normal doctors, and then someone invented resonators, and then they're like, oh shit, we can kill people with these things. So then all the doctors decided that they can go and just be sociopaths and just kill everybody with the resonators.
yeah, because that's
That's
exactly.
pretty much it. I thought it was awesome.
I imagine Bones from Star Trek, being a medic. He'd sit there, use his tricorder. When you piss him off, he's like, "Ah, you goddamn Vulcan," and just melts him with the damn tricorder.
Not a,
That's what I imagine as the medic.
That sounds
Gonna make
pretty.
your blood run green.
Okay, so let's say this. Okay, so in case anybody hasn't read this, this is what they put as the medic lore. Okay, it says back in the day.
you-
What?
read
What?
it. Go ahead.
Oh.
Go ahead.
It says back in the day it was great being a doctor. Illness and death were omnipresent, and medical profession was one of the very few able to charge improbable sums for advice, even when it proved irrelevant or fatal. Wow, they were just great people there. With the exciting innovation of warfare, their clientele skyrocketed along with their rates. Times were grand. Wow. But in a tragic twist for the profession, magnetic resonators capable of rapidly restoring health became scientifically possible. With people no longer sickening or dying in great numbers, some doctors were forced out of business altogether, or even worse, into saving lives without compensation. Whoa, that sucks. Thankfully, the most entrepreneurial sociopaths in the industry came through big time. Aspiring quacks ingeniously repurposed their resonators to inflict pain rather than relieve it. Once again, with only minor revisions to their sacred oaths, minor revisions, they said, okay, they were making money hand over fist. Thanks to the enduring efforts of such pioneers, an industry formerly on life support has metastasized virtually overnight into a cottage industry. Times are even grander. So they took this Hippocratic oath to save people's lives, and instead of actually saving their lives, they were charging ridiculous sums of amounts of money to heal them. And then everybody started getting better because they could actually get their own resonators, and they were like, "Oh shit, we're running out of money." And so they decided, okay, we're gonna repurpose these so that they can kill people now. And it's like, now we're making money again because we can kill people for what? What? What?
I feel like there's a lot of thought put into that one.
What? It makes no sense. Like, why would they just? That's just wrong. Just
I loved
wrong.
it. I thought it was great.
I mean, I mean, it's funny and everything, but still, that's just so wrong. Like, how can you just give me that medical degree back? Just give it back. It doesn't. It's not okay. Anyway, so. As usual, we usually get some questions on the forums about the current topic that we're speaking about today.
Questions.
So today we had. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I was looking for that. I was looking for it in the stream actually. Pixel, is it Pixel? Yes, Pixel, who is a new member in Terminus, gave me this picture thing that I was looking for us to reference off of, showing the abilities and the range that these medics had for some of their abilities and everything. And so, let me just give you an idea of the kind of ranges that they were dealing with. And I'm still kind of wondering why they lost in those PvP duels if they had such huge deals. And here's the thing too. Every class, and I think this is kind of a bad thing for them, but every class in the game has one resource that they have to go off of. Well, every class but two of them has one resource they have to go off of. For warriors, it's their rage bar, whatever, that red bar that builds up whenever they do attacks, kind of just like a regular warrior. Stalker has their suit power, which is kind of like energy from a rogue. And then, what am I missing? Spellslinger, I don't even think they have any kind of resource. They just use their abilities. It's just on cooldown. I didn't even see any resource on them. The medic has two resources they have to manage. What's going on back there? Okay. So anyway,
I'll be right back.
So,
damn it,
I've got 2-year-olds apparently.
We have your mom and his child.
Oh,
We need
God.
everything.
Anyway, so but they have these two. They have these two resources they have to manage. One of them is those red little bubbles that we saw on top. Yeah, the power cores. They have to manage the power cores. They have to have they have to keep attacking to build power cores up, and then they also have a focus bar right underneath it. So, and that focus bar is kind of like quote unquote their mana, and it's like, well, if they have to manage both of those, it showed that they had 1,000 focus that they were dealing with, right? 1,000 focus sounds like a lot, but when your abilities are costing 100 to between 50 and 100, and your focus is only regenerating at, let's say, 12 focus per second, it starts adding up very quickly, and you start running out. And at the end of that second fight, the reason they lost
He
was
ran out.
because he ran out of focus. He had plenty of power cores, but he had no focus. He had completely run out of focus. He couldn't heal anymore. So I'm thinking, how is that gonna translate into into PvP later on? Doing arenas and things like that, because you're not going to do long time fights and everything. Like in arenas we see in WoW now, you got like paladins who have holy power and mana, but they never fucking run out of mana. So you never have to worry about that.
Is
And
there anyone else that has resources like focus that can?
the Esper kind of works. I think the Esper still works the same way. I think they have focus as well, and they also use those little that little count up meter or whatever whenever they do their certain attacks.
Yeah, like the rogue.
Yeah, like
Where you
their
build up
combo
to 5
points.
and then dump.
Right. The combo points from a rogue is what the Esper has, and they have the focus meter as well. And I'm assuming focus is probably for their heals. Now, I'm wondering, and this is a thought, since we had like mana per 5 in WoW and everything, if we're gonna have gear that gives like focus per second back. So to give you like, let's say 11 focus per second back, or 11 focus every 5 seconds back, or something like that from the gear. If we have stuff like that, it could be a viable option, because then their main stat would be whatever main stat it is that they have. Then it would be, let's say, crit, and then after that it would be focus per 5. Or focus, whatever it is, so that they can regenerate that focus over time. Because if you're running out of focus all the time, you're never going to be able to heal shit. I mean, it comes into it turns into a really bad situation when you can't really do anything about it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I hope that you can regen that and hopefully regen that pretty quick.
yeah, I definitely hope they do put that in there, because I mean, I would say it'd have to be like 11 per second, because imagine doing 11 focus per second for 1,000 focus. That's gonna take a long time to get all the way back up to 100%. So I'm assuming that
Okay,
they're
just
gonna do.
pull that number randomly out of the air.
I'm just saying.
That
for
sounds
random,
right
just
to me.
11. It just sounds comfortable. 11. Okay. Anyway, so if we have something like that, I think they'll be okay, and I think we might be able to. They might be a little bit more viable. But as it stands right now, from what we've seen, long fights for medics are not working out very well. They're not.
No.
They're not equipped to do very long fights, and it seems like the max. I think that second fight took maybe 2 minutes or something. That's, well. Then again, the guy was also taking ridiculous amounts of damage, and it was only him healing. So, on the other hand, on the other side,
I don't
there were
know.
two different sides of
Healing
that.
in dungeons, the only thing I have written down for notes about that dungeon was healing looks hard as fuck. That's it. That's all I have.
Well,
That's all I
yeah.
have in my notes.
Of course, it's going to be hard,
It does
because
not- yeah.
it's going to be hard because not only are you having to worry about, not only are you having to worry about your position in the field, you're having to worry about, all right, now I got to watch the position of everybody else. Then I also got to find out who needs healing the most. I need to find out what healing abilities I can use the most and everything. And most of the time they're going to tell a medic, have one of those CC abilities available too, because we may need you to use one of the interrupt armors to break an interrupt armor on the boss. So the healers are gonna have a hell of a time learning how to heal in these dungeons. It's gonna be a hell of a time. And Kaywin, you are not coming with me ever.
Oh, you're all screwed. It's gonna be fantastic.
Kaywin's gonna be my main healer.
We are so
You
screwed.
have so much faith. You have too much
Oh
faith.
my god. I
She's
don't
gonna be
think-
my main healer.
Not gonna be a good
Oh
situation.
god.
I promise you, it's not gonna be a good situation. I will try my best though. I will.
I'm gonna turn up the sounds in the game when she's healing, because all I'm gonna
Oh
hear is
my
the
God.
whoop 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 whoop.
Right.
I'll just make music instead of healing.
She's gonna be off in the
Right.
corner.
Like
She's gonna be
Dead
off in the corner healing like a bug, and everybody's gonna be sitting over there like, dying to the boss. Like, Kaywin, what are you doing? And she's gonna be like, well, he was hurt. I was like, yeah, I'm dead. Oh,
This is
God.
I'm just
DJ
gonna
K.
sit there and DJ. I'm just gonna DJ. That's
Right.
it.
All right, guys, I got your
DJ
tune.
K.
You can be like, all right, guys, I got your tunes now. All right, we're good. All right, boss start. And she's like, wub wub wub, wub wub wub. It's like, can you heal something, or at least do a little bit of damage before you die? Do something. Be productive.
I'm not good at DPS either.
Be productive. Be productive.
The last thing you hear as you exit this world. Whoop whoop whoop.
Right.
It's not gonna be fun.
Anyway.
Well, then.
So yeah.
Well,
Anyway.
that's
So
what's gonna be on stream Anyway.
What's our next question?
It is going to be on stream. All right. You mean the first question? We haven't even got to it because we
Yeah,
got
we didn't even
some.
get
Oh god, I thought we were asking a question there.
So it says, why do you think medics? Why do you guys think medics as a main healing row as opposed to the other two classes' ability to heal? Oh, Wayne, that's a little bit cryptic there. So I think what he's trying to ask is, why do you guys think that medics would be better as a main healing row, as a main healer row, as opposed to the other two classes' ability to heal? What do you think about that, Kevin? Since you're the
I do think they're going to be the main healer. I don't think they're going to be off healer because I don't think their damage is enough to be DPS/off healer.
Okay. Well, I mean,
that's fine.
Well, yeah. But like, do you think it's gonna be like? Do you think it's gonna be better than the other two healers? Like, do you think there'll be a better main healer than the other two classes?
I think so because I really think that this is kind of being classified as the priest class.
With medium armor, sweet.
Right. Priest class, kind of like the priest stereotype of being the main healer, like
Okay.
whatever, like it's been called in every other game besides priest is whatever. I can't.
Right. I got you.
But
Alright.
I don't think like either that Esper. I think when I see the first thing I think about medic is healer. The first thing I think about Esper is
in the
not
name.
healer. So what? It's the first thing
It's
I think
in
about
the
Esper
name.
is like type. Exactly. I know. Like Esper is both to me. I think it's both DPS and heals. I think medic is just gonna be. straight up.
What class do you play? Medic? What do you do? DPS?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. It's gonna be like, oh, you're a shadow priest coming to. This is before, like, way before that was.
Yeah, before they were actually good. Yeah.
Yeah. This is like, are you serious? Are you seriously a shadow priest right now?
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Okay. So let's go with. So Calistana asked, how big do you see a hybrid style medic being for raids, since they can DPS and heal at the same time? Ghost.
Yeah. I think we covered that already, didn't we? Only two abilities really do that.
Yeah, but how
Unless
big do
they
you
implement something through
how-
the AMP system.
I think what he's wanting to say is how often do you think you'll see it? How often do you think you'll see those hybrid classes rather than just straight DPS or straight healing, medics in raids and things like that?
I see it more in smaller 5-man groups than maybe the raids, but in the raids, probably on trash pulls. But I don't know about actually main boss fights. I think you're gonna want more of your bigger heals and your single group target heals and all that. When you're doing the damage and the healing, that's more like probably trash pulls or.
You could probably
or
bring like a
small
medic
dungeons.
to do like group healing or something like that, like here and there to help out the main healers, in between the boss fights or not in between, but like during the boss fights they can do like group healing for the group and then still do DPS whenever everybody's healed up and topped off, something like that might work.
See, I agree with Ratty.
We also
Timed
don't know anything about
events.
amps. We know
Timed
nothing
events,
about
maybe
amps.
DPS runs.
Time to
That's
okay.
true. We don't know anything about amps. But
Yeah,
the
there's-
timed
they
events,
really
where
need
you
to
have
give
to
us
get
some
it
more
done at a
information on
certain
those
time.
amps.
That would probably be good situations to have the heal DPS abilities.
Okay. So Einsom Wolf asked, with the medics specialty being close range heals, let's say mid range heals, can we assume that in dungeon settings that they will stand close proximity to the tank so that they can provide both healing and DPS? We kind of went over this, so I think yes, that's going to be a huge thing for the medic, and that's going to be their make or break kind of thing. They're the ones in dungeons and raids that are going to be right up in there. When everybody says, all right, I want all the melee to get up on that boss's ass, the medic's going to be right there with the melee, right behind the melee, so that he can get those melee in there too with his heals and still hit the boss too at the same time.
They can be all up in there because they have fields put everywhere else.
Well,
And
I mean,
probes, don't
but they
forget
can
the
put
probes.
but they can put the heal, or they can put those fields directly underneath the boss, and it still is going to hit. It's still going to hit
Right.
everybody. The tanks and the DPS and the melee DPS and all of them. It's still going to hit all of them. So, if they have fields that do both damage and and healing at the same time, that's even better. That's going to be a reason for them to be right up underneath the boss's nutsack. The boss's nutsack, just so they can do that.
They may not even be just DPS and healing fields. We could even be talking about debuff fields. Like
Yeah.
maybe reduces damage by 10% if the monster's in that field.
Definitely, we could see something like that too. We already know that one of them's a snare, so it's not too far outside of the possibilities that one of those could be reduced attack power, reduced defense power, something like that. Definitely not. So Pixel asked, the medic livestream featured a pretty interesting 2v2 PvP situation between the medic and stalker and the spellslinger engineer. What sort of synergies do you think the medic will play into in terms of structured PvP? And what comps would it excel in? It says, oh, and also, can we just acknowledge how badass the engineer is looking? Yeah, that engineer did look pretty sick in there.
How cute are their robots? Their robots are so cute.
I wasn't gonna go there, but
Oh my
okay.
God.
So anyway, we're not gonna worry about cuteness of the robots and everything. Anyway, they're tiny little things. They probably get destroyed with like a toothpick. Doesn't matter. Anyway,
Those faces on the robots, though, they are amazing. I gotta admit, can't wait
Yeah.
for it.
on the video, but we don't even know if that's actually like that in the game and everything. So we kind
Come
of
on, you
I
know
think
they
we're kind
wouldn't
of
do that if it wasn't gonna be in the game.
It's
That'd
a
just be too big
video.
of a team.
See
They
their
do all
faces?
kinds of
I think
things.
that whole 2 versus 2, I was just looking at their faces the whole time.
Oh God. Anyway,
Like,
she was
that's
like trying to
really
pause it
cute.
every second.
That's
Oh, I got it. There, face. So cute. Play. And then pause it again and do it again. Rinse
It
and
reminds
repeat.
me of Wally. It reminds me of all the bots in Wally.
Wally.
Yeah.
That was a great movie.
Like the little
Anyway, so
bots.
what sort of synergies do you see? Do you see the medic being in, like, as far as like arenas and battlegrounds and things like that? Like, well, no, maybe not battlegrounds, because battlegrounds, that's a lot of people at once, but like
They
in
said that,
arenas.
I think they're gonna be your
Warrior.
interrupts, your stuns, your
Medic
crowd
with
controls.
combo.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, they can't just be straight up utility and everything. Obviously, they're gonna have to be able to heal something and everything. But
If they're in a group.
in my opinion, I think that they are gonna be a huge thing as far as crowd control goes. But I don't think they're gonna be our main healers, because from what we saw in those 2v2s, medic is not a great PvP healer, just because they can't do sustained healing. The Esper, I think, would probably be a sustained healer, being able to heal through that, and maybe even the Spellslinger might be able to. I think the Spellslinger would probably be better because I don't think they have to worry about focus. At least I didn't see a focus bar on the Spellslinger, so I don't know for sure. But I think the medic would be in there specifically to do backup healing, to heal the melee fighters as they go in and try to kill something, and also do damage. It's just like a boss fight, go in there healing and do damage at the same time. So that'd probably be the best situations for the medic class, at least.
I don't know. I don't have any interest in PvP for medic. I will be running in the opposite direction.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I don't know. I
You do
think I'm
you
actually
do know
interested.
you do know that we're going to a PvP server, right? Just so we're clear.
Yeah, no, I
Okay.
know. I've done that before. Like,
Alright,
my
just making
entire
sure.
WoW career was on a PvP server, and I could run like you can't even imagine.
Yeah, she's gonna be sitting over here like a master of running. She's gonna have like her own title as like Mistress Run. Mistress runs a lot.
Yeah, I was really good at that. Especially in
Right.
Stranglethorn Vale. Oh my goodness, that place was a mad zone when it came to PvP. I knew where to go. I always knew where to run away to and be safe.
All right, so medics are gonna do well with healing range groups that can stand still for a bit, and the same for tanks. Most likely the engineer tank. Also able to place decent heal zones. Okay, that was an answer from Solkis. My bad. Scappy asked, with the medic able to cast all of their heals while moving, do you think they will be weaker than the other heal classes at the same time? I think if that was true, they wouldn't have given them medium armor. That's
Right.
my thought on it. So, if they thought that, that they, just because they had the mobility on their side and everything, that, they would be able to be more mobile and everything, I don't think they would have given them medium armor to mitigate so much damage if they thought that they could handle it. You know what I mean? So, I don't think so. I mean, what do you think?
I think that they'll have less damage because they're medium armor, but not because I don't know.
Well, because that's the way they said it. They said like light armor is going to do the most damage, medium armor is going to do about medium damage, and heavy armor is going to do lighter damage. And that's the way that they were actually shooting for, because it takes about they wanted it to take about the same amount of time to kill stuff, or to kill. Let's say they wanted it to take the same amount of time for a heavy armor to kill a light armor as a light armor would to kill a heavy armor. You know what I mean? So the light armor guy is going to do a shitload of DPS to the heavy armor, but he's only going to take so much of it because he's got that heavy armor. He's got to get through all that armor and everything. So I think that, with the medic having medium armor, it gives them a good advantage for it. But I don't think that they're specifically meant, to be able to survive everything. I think that it's definitely
I think medic's just going to be mediocre in everything.
Yeah, I think, like you said, jack
Medium
of all
armor,
trades, but
medium
master
range,
none. Mm-hmm.
medium everything, medium heals,
mediocre,
everything. and they better make the spells look better. Less green, more pew pew, and more.
Well, I'm kind of I think the green is just because of the way the telegraphs are. Supposedly, from what I'm hearing from Calistana, they're supposedly supposed to let you choose your colors for your telegraphs so that you can give it a little bit more color in there. So maybe once we're able to choose our colors for telegraphs, it'll change the colors of your abilities. That's what
Why
that's
would
what
they
I'm.
do that?
I don't know. That's what the word is as far as what Calistana said. I don't know if that's even confirmed or anything. I haven't seen anything on it.
I think you can. They said you can change the color of your telegraphs on the floor so you could see them better.
Yeah, but isn't that
Spells.
basically what the damn medics? That's all their stuff is like they throw it on the ground. It's a telegraph and everything. You see it popping up and down and everything. I mean, I don't see why you'd have like a blue telegraph on the ground and still have green, as the graphic on it. I think it would change the entire color of it instead of just, just the.
I think it's just for. It's not for aesthetics. It's more for like skilled. It's more for helping you out, especially colorblind people. I think.
Well, they did mention a colorblind mode.
Yeah, I think changing telegraphs is more for a strategic thing than aesthetics.
Yeah.
Right.
I know if I'm
don't
in
equal
PvP,
animations.
I'm going to have to
They're
be
not
able to
gonna
see
change.
mine and the enemies.
Well, they
green isn't
they
gonna
already said that
change.
they already said that you'll be able to change the intensity of the colors on the ground. So, even if it comes out too late when it first comes out, you can make it pretty much solid on the ground whenever you lay it down. So, I mean, I don't think it's going to be an issue of being able to see the telegraphs. I think it's just going to be an issue of, if people want to customize their colors and everything and make it a little bit different for them. I mean, think about it, though. I mean, Kasana made a good point and everything. How cool would it be to go over there and, you're starting to fight somebody? Well, no, I can see this becoming a problem, too. Nah, it'd be a bad idea. Horrible idea to change colors on there. Because I was like, because his whole thing was like, okay, if they change the color, how cool would it be to change the colors and then, you see those colors projected off of your enemies and off of your allies and everything like that. And it's like, well, what if one of these dickbags decides to go with brown and to do brown and or like a deep red brown, kind of like a dirt brown or something like that.
I think
I
it's
don't know.
more
I think-
personal. Like, you can set what colors your enemies are going to be, so you know what their stuff is. It's just for your personal screen, not what the people are going to see that you're projecting. So you can't make it like hot pink, and they're just going to see your hot pink stuff.
Yeah.
They're not changing spell color. The telegraphs are customizable, probably. It's whatever he's saying is what's customizable. Telegraphs, I think that's just for personal preference. Like, you can change, I don't know, your UI and stuff like that. But spell
That'd be sweet.
color cannot be changed. I don't think it can be changed because when you're PvPing and you're looking for spells from your enemy, sometimes a color is a signal of what that spell is and helps you deflect or response to that spell. They're not gonna let you change your spell colors.
No, I agree with
Just
you,
in that
Caitlin. I don't
sense
think.
alone.
And I don't, yeah, and that's probably a good thing. They shouldn't let you be able to change that because then you start going in there and somebody decides to do another red thing, or one of your allies decides to do a red one, and you start thinking, oh, a heal is going to be a fucking enemy attacking you, and you start rolling out of the hills, and he starts yelling at you, why are you rolling out of my hills? Because I was getting attacked. So that would be me.
It means stop.
And
It
that
means
would
go.
and I could completely see that being Kwin. Just like
No,
putting.
I think pink everything.
Oh
Everything would be
God.
pink. But like I said, you if I don't know, that one skill, the one with the green boxes, if you see that
Yeah.
coming and it's a different color than what you've known it to be, then you don't know what kind of skill that is. You don't know what
Yeah.
it is, so you don't know how to react. Especially for people who are training for PvP and training for arenas and training for
Yeah,
battlegrounds.
yeah, I can see that being a problem on there.
You need to know what the spells look like in order to be your best.
My thought on that is if they did allow that for any reason, I'm pretty sure if they would disable it in PvP and arenas. They wouldn't let you have your own color in PvP and arenas, but maybe out in the open world they would. That's if they had a mechanic like that.
Okay, so let's move on to another question real quick. But yeah, those were good answers on there, and that was interesting. So Azdaha, Azdaha made a very good point on here. He said currently each class has access to 10 assault abilities, which is like your DPS rotations, 10 support abilities, which would be like your heals or your tanks, and then 10 utilities, which is generally like your hard CCs, defensive cooldowns, cleanses, and things like that. What do you imagine the optimal mix is going to be for solo, small group play, and raiding? So, like when you're out doing out soloing, doing questings and things like that. Do you see like each of these classes doing like all 10 assault or a mixture of all these abilities, or something like that? I think is what he's getting at.
Solo for me
think
would
there's
probably be
8
all DPS and maybe like a heal, one heal.
I see,
there's
but I
8
think that it'd also be smart for you to do a CC too. I'm sorry, Ghost. Go
Well,
ahead.
yeah, that goes with my DPS.
I'm say there's 8 buttons on the bottom that you can do, right? It's 8.
10.
I think it's what is it 10? I thought it was, well, it's 8 and plus like 2 other abilities. But so I'm seeing probably what 4 attack, 2 support, 2 utility for usually your solo run,
No, I'm
and
seeing.
then just
If I
kind of mix
remember
and match
right,
it out.
if I look to the thing right, he's got 9 core abilities that he can do at the bottom, with his 0 being his path ability. So I think they actually get 9 on the bottom with the path ability, and then I don't think you count the innate abilities as a on his bar or whatever. It's there, but I don't think it's counted as an actual ability. It's just an innate cooldown that you get.
Yeah, 8 plus path plus an 8. So I was going off 8. So you have 4 attack, 2 utility, 2 support.
Well, I mean, and if we went off the 9, it would be like 5 attack, 2 and 2. So that would make sense and everything, but it would also depend, largely on what those abilities did and everything. So I would say it'd be like, maybe 1 attack cooldown, 1, defensive cooldown, a heal, a CC, and then like 4 attack abilities or 5 attack abilities or something like that. Would be probably optimal for like solo, maybe even dungeon play and everything. Rating obviously is going to come down to what's needed the most and everything. And I'm really hoping they don't lock your abilities in when you're in those. I hope they make it so that, okay, this didn't work on this one. All right, let's wipe it up, bring it back in, switch up your abilities on the fly, and keep going. I'm assuming it's going to be like that. At least it should be. Were you reading a manual on WildStar?
Right?
He's like,
No, this is my Perry notebook. You shut up.
okay.
But my kid drew on all the pages. I thought I had some blank pages, but I don't. So that doesn't.
All right. So, and then he says, and with the telegraph system, avoiding damage is going to be everyone's responsibility. Players should not just scream at the healer for not doing their job. Freeform heals with the medic excels, which the medic excels at, make communication and position crucial also. With those points in mind, how long do you think it'll take before folks stop playing WildStar like other MMOs and embrace this design? That is a very good question. That is an extremely good question. Because I know for a fact that as soon as we get into this game, somebody, let's say, for instance, K-Wing goes in there, she starts healing, she's doing the best that she can, and somebody's going to come back and be like, why aren't you fucking healing me? And hey, K-Wing's going to come back and be all like, your dumbass was standing in the red shit. And he's going to be like, you should have been able to heal me through it. And be like, bro, you should have moved. So I know it's going to happen. It's guaranteed it's going to happen.
Of course it's gonna happen.
Because everybody's going to come, everybody's looking at this game, and people who haven't actually done their homework on WildStar is looking at this game as a WoW clone. That's exactly what they keep calling it, is a WoW clone. This is nothing like WoW. This is not like WoW that we've ever played. WoW did not have this many fucking telegraphs. Hell, WoW had minimal telegraphs on the damn game. WoW was point and click on everything. This one is more like getting range and damage everything in your range. So this game is completely different compared to World of Warcraft. So I think that we are gonna have a huge learning curve with these retards who come in here thinking, I got this shit, bro. And even though they went through 49 other levels of, dodging shit and everything, they get to level 50 going, alright, this healer can heal me, and no. So...
That's why I'm scared to be a healer in this game. I really am. I was thinking about doing just DPS for a while, but I know I wouldn't be happy with that, but I'm really scared.
I think it'll take some skill, but I think you'll do fine. You just need to you're probably just gonna need a lot of practice in like dungeons and things like that before you try to go into raids and shit, trying to do healing and all that. And it's possible healing in raids may be even easier than healing in dungeons. We never know until we actually get in there and give it a shot and find out.
I'm not pugging, that's for sure.
Oh no, I see myself maybe pugging because I'll be a tank. So all I have to do is just avoid shit and get heals and everything. So I see myself being I don't see myself pugging, but I don't see myself pugging a whole lot. Especially if we're gonna have as many people in the guild as I want.
Maybe if they implement like a voice chat built into the WildStar system, I could see pugging be more viable.
Oh no,
especially as a tank. But without communication, I would not want to do that.
I think it's possibility, but I don't foresee it coming out at launch. Maybe that might be something later on, because WoW didn't even do that at launch because they had to get the servers and everything ready for it. They finally got it in there like 4 years later to do a voice system, which nobody uses at all anyway, so it's kind of useless. But I mean, it could be.
I don't know a single person that used the voice system in World
I
War
did
II.
it maybe a handful of times, and it was only for like dungeons or like one of those like, all right guys, we're gonna pick up and we're level 90s, we're gonna go do a level 60 raid real quick. It was just to get everybody organized for it, and that was about it. So I think that's as far as that went.
Because that's a challenge.
Right. Anyway, guys, so it is about time to wrap things up on there.
I just wanted to make one real quick more point on Asda's question.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to be a big deal with people starting to play WildStar the way they mean it to be played, because we already have games out there like that. Terra has the freeform healing.
Yeah, but they don't
of.
really like.
It's not the same.
Yeah, it's not. Well, it's not the same.
Towards that
it is.
direction.
It is. It is definitely a step towards it, but I don't see people going out and saying, "All right, let me go play Terra before I play." I know that a lot of us are, but that's because we're that excited about WildStar. We want to get into the mindset that this is how we're going to be healing. I don't foresee people going from World of Warcraft going, all right, let me go play Terra for like a month or two so I can get used to this, and then go play WildStar. I just don't see that.
Should. It's free to play.
They're gonna go straight from all right, I'm playing WoW. They're gonna go play WildStar for like a month, and then they're either gonna get it or they're not, and they're gonna be like, fuck this game, it sucks, and then they're gonna go off back to World of Warcraft because they couldn't figure out how to play the game. And it's
Let them go back.
And honestly, I don't mind either and everything,
Right?
but at
We
the
don't
same
need that.
time, I'm like, you're an idiot. Because, instead of actually learning how to play the game, you'd rather just, like, give up and be ignorant to things that
Where's
are great.
my free loot button? That's what I want to press.
Yeah, exactly.
Go back to WoW.
Anyway, guys, alright, so that pretty much will wrap up everything for this week on there. That was pretty much everything for the stalker for the medic class this week. Next week we have the engineer coming out, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. Tomorrow we get the dev speak video on the engineer, and then on Saturday we got that lovely nifty little Saturday stream that we get for the engineer. Kitty.
You give me kisses.
But
He looks pissed off, like he wants to get away.
right? Are you the one that owns Grumpy Cat? Jesus.
No, renaming my cat to Exiled Small.
Oh God. Anyway,
Hi.
why? Cause she like comes in at the worst, most inopportune times.
You have
Anyway.
to blow dryer after every bath.
Exactly. All right.